guys initially asked me to, you initially asked me to come, I was really excited. I wanted to be here as part of Lake Youth Academy, the alumni, the trustees, everybody, the students. Congratulations to you all, the 2015 class of Pine School. It's an honor to be here with you all and to see where y'all's futures are going to go. I'm really excited about it. One of the things I want to talk to you about, and the title kind of my speech is, there's no dream that's too big. When I got asked, a year and a half ago, Katie had asked me, it was ironically right after the Super Bowl 48, when we won, and I was thinking, good thing she didn't ask me after this year, because maybe I couldn't be here. You guys may have Tom Brady here this year. But no, it's an honor to be here, obviously, like I said. In terms of how I know Katie, Katie's wonderful dad, Mark Rogers, is actually my agent, and he's become my best friend too as well. And kind of a long story about it, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But Mark had, like I said, there's no dream too big. I came here, I packed my stuff last night. I was all ready to go. I was trying to get here, trying to get ready. Mark's stressing to see if I'm going to get here on time or not. I told Mark, I've never missed a flight. I'll be here. So, anyways, I get to the airport. My flight leaves at like 9:25. I get there around 8:45. I get on the plane. I look at Matt, Katie's older brother, and Mark's oldest son. I said, got my suit. So we got here, I got landed, and I say, hey Matt, what are we gonna do? He's like, you can wear my dad's shirt. He's got some old shirts from the early '90s that'll probably fit him. I said, maybe that dream is a little too big. There's no way, Mark Rogers, I can wear your shirt. So, I love Mark to death, and just the whole family and just everybody that's been involved in my life. I've had a fortunate situation just to be around great people, and I know so many of you young students that are becoming grown-ups and going to college and have the unbelievable opportunity to experience college and what it's going to be about. And there's so many intelligent people in this room. I heard earlier that 43 of you, 100% of this class are going to universities, great universities, from NYU to Dartmouth to University of Richmond, to so many different places. Some places nearby and some places far away. And what I hope that you all do and continue to try to do is continue to work on your education, continue to put that first. It's such a crucial thing in life. And your parents have all set you up in a great situation. I grew up in a very, very similar situation. I was fortunate enough to, my family wasn't that financially stable, but I was fortunate enough to go to a great, great private school where I could experience a lot of great things and continue my career. So I pray that you guys continue to reach all your goals and try to do everything that you can do. One of the things that, when I first met Katie 5 years ago, Mark had told me, my daughter's in this play, and it's like Amy, and I'm like, okay, I've heard of Amy, I've seen it in high school before, I was like, I'll check it out. So anyways, I fly, I'm actually in Sarasota, Florida on the IMG training, and I go, I come to this area of town, and I go see, Katie, and she's the star of Annie, and I go see her, and I'm sitting in the front row, and all of a sudden this just beautiful, and I'm a music person, this beautiful girl with this beautiful voice just starts blaring out, and it starts bringing tears to my eyes, and I'm not too much of an emotional person, but just listening to her and everything that she does, and, so I'm really looking forward to her future, but everybody else's future here too. And so, Nathan, I know who you are, so I'm looking out for you, okay? Yeah, that's right, I called you out. I will find you. Anyways. That's one to remember, right? So, but there's three things I want to talk to everyone about, but in particular the kids, the 2015 grown-ups going to college. The first thing is the what. The what, the how, and the why. As I explain the what, my what, I was trying to search for my life and trying to figure out what I really wanted to do in my life. As a young kid, I was a bully. I was a kid that used to beat up people, get in trouble, always in the principal's office. I was always there, literally every day. 6th grade, I was there every day. I never got suspended though, I didn't lose my way through that. But I was always the kid that always got in trouble, sometimes because I did something wrong, and sometimes because I was assumed that I did something wrong. But I started trying to figure out, what I wanted to do with my life and where I wanted to go, and all these things that I kept battling. And like I said, I was a bad kid. I didn't really know, where my direction was going. But then I started realizing that sports was a real big part of my life, and I always had the talent since I was a little kid. But once I hit about 6th, 7th grade, I figured I had this teacher named Scott Corrigan, who was my history teacher at the time, and he's also my advisor. We sat down after recess one day, my favorite period of school, and we sat down and he said to me, "What are you going to do with your life? You can't do anything acting this way. You're not going to go anywhere." So that's when I started questioning, what I wanted to do with my life. And so I started figuring out, okay, well, how do I go about that? And my dad used to wake me up early in the morning. He used to wake me up when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, all the way up until I was 16 years old, approximately. He used to wake me up at 5:30 in the morning to go field ground balls, to go throw football, and do all this. And for some reason, God gave me these huge hands, and I was a little short kid, as Katie mentioned in her speech. And I was trying to figure out, what do I do with this? And I started throwing speed outs and deep post routes, fielding ground balls early in the morning as the sun's just getting up. And I started to realize that discipline was very important in my life. And despite the fact that I wasn't that great at school until I got to about 10th grade, really. But I was more of a C+, B- student at a very, very prestigious school, kindergarten through 12. So I was barely making it. And so once I figured out that the discipline was going to take me to where I really wanted to go and what I really wanted to do, that's when things started to get in order for me. And so school started to come around. I started to, visualize my life, and I think visualization is really important for all you young ones here. But I had to visualize what I wanted my life to look like, and I knew I wanted to play football and baseball. I wanted to play National Football League, and I wanted to play for the major leagues, and that was my what at the time. So fast forwarding, into my how. I ended up starting to get really good at school, and I started to figure out things. I started to study. I started to get around the smart kids. My best friend Jimmy Wilshire got a 1,600 on his SATs, but he was also a great basketball player, and so I started to be around him more and more, and I started to kind of surround myself around great people, and that kind of helped develop me into the person that I am today. And so in terms of figuring out my how, it was the discipline, it was the studying, it was the being organized and starting to plan things out, and going into my end of my high school career, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, all of a sudden I started getting A's. I started sitting in front of the classroom. I raised my hand every time. If I didn't know the answer, if I wanted to have a question, I raised my hand and I sat in front of the classroom, just intentionally, as my dad used to always say, get in the teacher's shorts. That's a little too much for you guys maybe, but what that meant for me is always be so close that you're right there. You're just always asking questions and trying to get as much information as you possibly can. And so, I ended up, I had an opportunity to get drafted out of high school. I was going to go in the first or second round. I was a shortstop. I batted, 500, 550 in high school from 8th grade to my senior year, and I could really play the game of baseball. But I also had this passion for football. I was a great football player in high school, and I had an opportunity to play college football. A lot of people were saying I was too short, and I wanted to figure out, what, I got to go against it. So as I was in my junior, senior year of high school, I used to write sticky notes. I used to write sticky notes up on my wall, and every time somebody said something negative to me, that, oh, you're too short, you're not smart enough, you're not fast enough, you're not big enough, you're not sure you're good enough, all these things I used to post little sticky notes on my wall, and that helped my motivation to figure out my how to get there. And that was a crucial step into my future. As I had the opportunity to get drafted out of high school, I ended up turning that down. I ended up, telling my dad that I was going to make a promise that I was going to try to graduate in 3 years and go to NC State, North Carolina State University, and graduate and play both sports, football and baseball, and so that's what I pursued. That's what I did. I ended up going to NC State my freshman year. My dad, he had diabetes, and all of a sudden, he's a very, very healthy guy. He got extremely sick. So I ended up going to NC State. Basically, the first week I get there, I'm trying to fight for the starting position and all that, and everything's going on. My dad's extremely sick. And, I ended up redshirting that first freshman year. Going into that spring, I ended up playing, starting on second base for the baseball team. And we beat Florida State, Mark Rogers' alma mater. And so, anyways, going into that spring, I also had to do football and baseball. And meanwhile, I made that promise to my dad I was going to try to graduate in 4 years and take 18 credits every semester and try to do everything that I could to make this promise that my dad fulfilled. And so that discipline that I started to learn into the what of what I wanted to do really started to develop into the how. And so as I go through college, my dad got extremely sick. He had to get his leg amputated. Things weren't going well for him. And, I was so close to him. It was kind of a devastating point in my life. June 8th, 2010, I got drafted by the Colorado Rockies, beginning of the 4th round. And a month before, I found this short guy, Mark Rogers, who was going to be my agent. And ironically, my dad was extremely sick my junior year of baseball, and I ended up getting drafted by the Colorado Rockies. And June 9th, the next day after I got drafted, my dad passed away. And it's amazing how God works sometimes in my life, and every time, really. After my dad had passed away, the next day, it was just kind of a tough moment, and I had to find somebody to call, and Mark was the guy that I called. A father figure that he became a big elemental figure in my life. And I continued to grow, and I continued to build, and I continued to focus on that, how I was going to get to what I really wanted to do. And fast forwarding, I ended up having this opportunity to play football or baseball, and trying to figure out, okay, am I going to play pro baseball and continue to play pro baseball, or am I going to continue to pursue my football career? And I ended up going back to NC State. It's on a 2-sport deal. I ended up going back to NC State for my redshirt junior year of football. Did really well. I ended up going to a big league spring training, and my head coach from North Carolina State University told me that I wasn't good enough. That I had no shot to play in the National Football League. I was too small, and I wasn't going to have an opportunity. And that motivated me, him telling me, no, you can't do this. And so I ended up getting my transfer papers. I ended up going to the University of Wisconsin. Meanwhile, I was able to do that because I graduated in 3 years. I fulfilled that promise to my dad after he passed away. I was able to do that, and so I ended up going to University of Wisconsin grad school. Played football there senior year. I'm not sure if you know the story. Ended up going, playing my senior year there at Rose Bowl. Got drafted by the Seattle Seahawks, and that started to develop into my why. And as I got drafted in the 75th pick overall, a lot of people doubted me that there's no shot to be able to start, there's no shot to play successfully for a long time. And I was my first year. I was fortunate enough to have a great year and have a great experience. My second year, we would go win the Super Bowl, and that was an unbelievable experience. Winning Super Bowl 48. My third year, we'd go right back to the Super Bowl and get down to the 1 yard line, and the play doesn't work out the way we want. And it's kind of an interesting thing when I think about that, and I have the opportunity to talk to you all today. The ups and downs of life and the things that I've gone through. When you know your what, like what you want to do, and then you start to figure out how you're going to do it, and then you get to the point of, okay, why am I doing this? As that play had happened at the 1 yard line, and they had made the play, and it was a devastating thing. I take a couple steps to the right. I'm walking off the field, and the game's over, obviously, and I'm walking off the field, and I hear a voice from God. He says, "I'm using you." And I start to think about, as I'm walking off the field, I'm using me. Okay, so how are you using me, God? Please tell me. And I realized, the week before I had a miraculous week. A game that was back and forth, crazy game, not the prettiest game in the world. And we were down pretty big, and there was no chance of us coming back. We're playing the Green Bay Packers. Hopefully there's no Green Bay Packers fans in here. But we were playing the Green Bay Packers and in a tough game. We came back with 3 minutes left, down by, 16 or something crazy. Go into overtime, win the game, and go to the Super Bowl for the second year. Obviously, the next play happens. I play on the 1 yard line. I'm walking off. God says, I'm using you. And I think about all that, and I think about my life, and I think about being 26 years old, and I'm not much older than you all. And I think about the negative things that have happened in my life, but a lot of positives. And I think about how when you go through positive things, you know how to react, you know how to respond. There's a gratefulness to it. Oh man, this is great, this is good, this is good. But how do you react when negative things go, when negative things happen? And so then I started to think about, as I walked off in the next few weeks, and I started to train for this upcoming season, thinking about my life, thinking about all the great people I get to meet, and having this opportunity to speak to you all, and to speak to so many different kids, go to the children's hospital, meet so many different people from all over the world. I pray that each one of you figure out your what, your how, and your why. I figured out my why. My why was to encourage people, to change people's lives, to influence people, to motivate people. And it's a lot bigger than just the game. I have an opportunity to play the greatest game of them all. I get to play the National Football League. I get to be one of 32 men in the world. One of 32 men in the world get to do what I get to do. I get to play in front of millions of people every week, and I get to do so many great things, and get to go to so many cool places and all that. But if it doesn't matter at the end, why does it matter now? Ultimately, I wanted to figure out, okay, my why in life, and I started to figure those things out in the past, 3, 4, 5 years when I was flying here. And Michael, I'm not a prepared type of person all the time either. I believe in separation from preparation, but when it comes to speeches, I believe in giving from the heart. And so for me, I'm sitting there, and I had a kind of a speech prepared, and I'm thinking, what I really want to tell these kids is figure out your why. That's the most important question. And so, I'm standing up here in front of you guys, and I'm grateful just for the opportunity to explain, the effect that you can have in people's lives. I have a tremendous gift to be able to play the great game of football and baseball too, but that's not what God gave me just to encourage people. It's to influence people, make people believe, and make people see that life is a lot greater than just the talents that just God's giving you in terms of your field. And try to find a way to use your field, and try to find a way to influence people and guide people and encourage your future kids and the people that you get to meet down the road. And the relationships that you have, and the relationships that you'll have, as Margaret talked about earlier, the relationships that you guys will have, 50 years from now. When you come back, you get to have those relationships, and love people, give people in your life, and to be able to have a huge, huge effect on people. To the kids at Pine School, I'd love for you guys to stand up if you can. I wanted to say a few things to you guys, and the last few notes I had is, the first thing is don't stop dreaming. In my life, I've had the opportunity to have these huge, crazy dreams, and to have this vision in my life, to believe in something so much greater than just myself. And I've had a lot of people tell me no. And as I stand in front of you, 43 amazing, smart, intelligent people, there's going to be a lot of times when people are going to say no. There's going to be a lot of times when people are like, it's not a good idea. You know what, there's no way this business is going to work, this idea that you have, this aspiration that you have. And I pray that if it's really in your heart, that you pursue that. Like I said, I've had a lot of people tell me no. And the first thing I want to tell you guys is don't stop dreaming. And the other thing I want to say is dreams come true when you capitalize on opportunity. I've had some amazing opportunities in my life, and I've been to Super Bowls, I've gotten to meet a lot of good people, I've had a lot of great situations. But when that one opportunity comes, whether we have one opportunity or 1,000 opportunities, and sometimes life's not fair, sometimes people have 1,000 more than you, sometimes we'll just get that one. But I pray that you'll be prepared for it, and that you'll do everything you can to grasp that opportunity, do the best you can. And you may win, and you may lose. I've won once, and I've lost once. But I believe I'm going to get there over and over and over again. And the last kind of couple of notes, last little thing I have to say, and I think this is the most important thing that I can give to you guys right now, is surround yourself. Surround yourself. Whatever you want to do, and however you want to get there, and why you want to get there, the most important element to it all is you have to surround yourself. Surround yourself when you go to college around great people. Surround yourself around great situations. Don't put yourself in a situation that may not be a good situation for your future and what you want to do in life. In long term, relationship-wise, whether it's a boy or a girl or friends, the people that you get to, share businesses with and do all these amazing things, and maybe some of you guys will become billionaires and affect the world and change the world. I think the most important thing, and I'm sure your parents and trustees and teachers and everybody here, but I want to emphasize to you, and I think one of the reasons why I've been fortunate enough to be successful in only 26 years so far, is because I've been able to surround myself around people like Mark and Katie and the Rogers family, my parents, and the great select few of friends that I do have. I'm very selective in that. And I think that sometimes we can either surround ourselves around positive things or surround ourselves around negative things. And the most important thing that I have to say to you, besides the what and the how and the why, the most important element to it all is to be able to surround yourself. And I've been to college, I've experienced college, I've experienced the good things in college, I've experienced the bad things in college, I've experienced the good things in being in relationships, I've experienced the bad things in being in relationships. And I'll experience a lot of great things as I continue to go, and some bad things as I continue to go. But I will make this promise to you guys, I will surround myself with great people. Because ultimately, what and how and why I want to get there is a lot bigger than me. It's a lot bigger than me. I'm not going to be perfect along the way, and you won't be perfect along the way either. But I promise you that if you surround yourself around great people, the sky is the limit. And amazing things will happen to you, things that you never imagined would happen to you. And don't allow, the last little thing I would say is don't allow negative people to stop your dreams from where you really want to go. There will be some negative people, there will be some things that will happen. But if you surround yourself around positive people, surround yourself around people that have the same vision, the same idea of what you want to do, there is no dream that's too big. Thank you guys.